Good morning, Alex and friends. I'm Grace. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, and you're listening to Alex's News. The weather in Riverside will reach a pleasant high of 74.8 degrees today, with a low of 45.6 degrees. Coming up, we'll examine the potential legal challenges facing the Justice Department's latest immigration enforcement strategy. Then, we'll explore how recent devastating wildfires in Southern California might reflect broader changes in our climate patterns. And finally, we'll learn about some fascinating social behavior among chimpanzees and their unique group habits. All this and more, coming up on Alex's News. Stay tuned. We begin tonight with major developments in U.S. immigration policy. For more on these significant changes, we're joined by our Justice Department correspondent Ethan Parker. Ethan, what can you tell us about these sweeping reforms?
Grace, this is a massive shift in immigration enforcement. According to the Department of Homeland Security, just yesterday they've officially reinstated what's known as the Migrant Protection Protocols, or MPP, a policy that allows the government to send asylum seekers back to neighboring countries while their cases are being processed.
Can you explain what this means for those seeking asylum in the United States?
Well, based on historical data analyzed by Perplexity API, the previous implementation of this program from 2019 to 2021 presents some troubling statistics. Out of roughly 70,000 migrants who were returned to Mexico, only 521 people were granted relief from deportation. Even more concerning, there were over 1,500 documented cases of violence against these asylum seekers.
We're also hearing about some significant personnel changes at the Justice Department. What's happening there?
According to the Washington Post reporting, there's been a major reorganization, with at least 15 senior career officials being either removed or reassigned. Many of these veterans, including well-respected officials like George Toscas and Yoon-Young Choi, are being transferred to a newly created Office of Sanctuary Cities Enforcement.
And what's the Justice Department's stance on local authorities who might resist these new policies?
The department has taken a hard line here, Grace. They've issued directives to federal prosecutors to investigate any state or local officials who obstruct federal immigration enforcement. It's a significant escalation, with prosecutors being instructed to pursue the most serious charges possible against those who impede these efforts.
Thank you for that comprehensive report, Ethan. We'll be sure to keep following these developments. We turn now to our continuing coverage of the devastating Southern California fire crisis. Joining us with the latest details is our reporter, Chloe Martinez. Chloe, bring us up to speed on the current situation.
Grace, Southern California continues to grapple with what's becoming one of the most destructive fire events in state history. According to the Los Angeles Fire Department, the combined Palisades and Eaton fires have claimed 28 lives and destroyed more than 14,000 structures. The Palisades fire is currently at 63% containment, while the Eaton fire stands at 89%.
Those numbers are staggering, Chloe. What's the latest on the weather conditions that have been fueling these fires?
The National Weather Service reports that while the rare, particularly dangerous situation red flag warning ended Tuesday morning, we're still seeing extremely dangerous conditions. Weather monitoring stations have recorded peak wind gusts of 57 miles per hour in the western Santa Monica Mountains, and near Six Flags Magic Mountain, gusts reached 62 miles per hour. What's particularly concerning is the humidity levels remaining below 10%.
I understand there's some hope on the horizon with rain in the forecast. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, Grace. According to the National Weather Service, there's a 60 to 80% chance of rain beginning this Saturday, January 25th, just 3 days from now. However, they're predicting less than a third of an inch in most areas, with potential thunderstorms bringing up to an inch in some locations. But this brings its own concerns. Emergency management officials are warning about possible mudslides and toxic ash runoff.
What steps are officials taking to address this crisis?
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has issued an executive order to expedite cleanup efforts, and Southern California Edison has implemented preventative power shutoffs affecting more than 60,000 customers. The Los Angeles Times reports that fire crews are actively preparing sandbags and monitoring potential fire spots. Additionally, we're expecting a presidential visit this Friday, January 24th, just 2 days from now.
And what about the economic impact of these fires?
According to preliminary assessments from state emergency services, the economic damage is estimated between $250 minus $275 billion. The ATF is currently investigating the causes of these fires, and multiple lawsuits have already been filed against Southern California Edison.
Thank you for that comprehensive update, Chloe. We'll be sure to keep our viewers informed as this situation develops. Here are some other headlines. In a controversial move, Iraq's lawmakers have passed a bill that critics say effectively legalizes child marriage by lowering the minimum marriage age to 15, sparking outrage from women's rights groups and international organizations. Rupert Murdoch's UK tabloids have issued a formal apology to Prince Harry and admitted to intrusive practices regarding the late Princess Diana, marking a significant shift in the British media's approach to royal coverage. The crypto industry is reeling from former President Trump's recent embrace of meme coins, as his launch of $T-Rump and $Melania tokens has led to dramatic price fluctuations and criticism from industry leaders who view it as undermining cryptocurrency's legitimacy. Taylor Swift and Morgan Wallen are leading the pack for the 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards with 10 nominations each. The ceremony will also honor Lady Gaga with the Innovator Award and Mariah Carey with the Icon Award, while supporting wildfire relief efforts in Los Angeles. In Colorado, the state Supreme Court has ruled that 5 elephants at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo cannot pursue their own release through legal channels, stating that, as non-humans, they lack the legal standing to file habeas corpus claims. The case, brought by the Non-Human Rights Project, mirrors similar unsuccessful attempts to secure legal personhood for captive animals. And now for our third and final story of the morning. We turn to a fascinating discovery in primate behavior. Joining us is our science correspondent, Ethan Parker. Ethan, I understand researchers have observed some interesting social behavior in chimpanzees?
That's right, Grace. According to a groundbreaking new study just published in Current Biology, researchers at Kyoto University have discovered what they're calling socially contagious urination among chimpanzees, something that's actually similar to how humans experience contagious yawning.
That's certainly intriguing, Ethan. Can you tell us more about how they conducted this research?
According to Smithsonian Magazine's reporting, the study took place at the Kumamoto Sanctuary in Japan, where researchers observed 20 captive chimpanzees over an impressive 600 hours. During this time, they documented more than 1,300 urination events.
And what exactly did they find in these observations?
Well, Grace, the researchers discovered that when one chimp starts urinating, others nearby are likely to follow suit. But what's particularly interesting, as reported by Science News, is how social hierarchy plays into this behavior. Lower-ranking chimps were much more likely to participate in this synchronized urination, especially when observing their higher-ranking peers.
That's fascinating. Are there any theories about why chimps might engage in this behavior?
Yes. The researchers have proposed several explanations. According to the New York Post's coverage, it might help reinforce social bonds within the group, or it could serve as a clever defensive strategy to confuse predators who might try to track individual chimps. The behavior might also represent a deeper evolutionary connection between humans and our closest primate relatives.
And I assume this raises new questions for future research?
Absolutely, Grace. While this study was conducted in captivity, researchers believe this behavior likely exists in wild populations as well, though they note that additional studies would be needed to confirm this in natural settings.
Thank you for bringing us this fascinating insight into primate behavior, Ethan. Really interesting stuff. That's all we have for now. Today's episode was made by Alexander King, with Claude Sonnet 3.5, the Perplexity API, and the Google Cloud Text-to-Speech API. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, Alex.